Well, friends, so we are taking a fire insurance story. So, fire insurance is one of the most old, traditional, and big portfolio of non-motor insurance. Almost every general insurance company, other than standalone health insurance companies, are doing fire insurance. Fire insurance is the primary requirement of the general insurance section. Reason being, there is a policy which is clubbed together with most of the policies and most of the risks which are in the commercial segment. Say, for example, hotels, colleges, offices, factories, shops, small industries, medium industries, they are all subject to fire insurance. Why it is so? What is the reason? Why fire insurance is so important for every commercial institution? Let's understand in detail. So first of all, our focus would be on the two policies which are known as the Bharat Sukshma Udyam Suraksha and Bharat Laghu Udyam Suraksha. Because these are the policies introduced by the IRDA from 1st April 2021 and thereafter they are continued in the entire general insurance industry and they are sold by all the general insurance companies of India. So normally, the fire risk was insured since beginning. But that time the policy prevailing was the standard fire and special peril policy which continued till 2021. But now it has been defined that this policy will be issued for the sum insured of more than 50 crores only. So this is a change provision after launching these policies by the IRDA, because the sum insured is the parameter to decide which policy will be issued for what purposes and for what sum insured limit. So this fire insurance is a policy which can be used by any person of firm that has a financial interest in the property to be insured can avail this insurance. Means a person who is either owner or have the financial interest in the property, he can take this policy. Maybe there may be a case of trust or commission or the financial institutions which have a financial interest in the property, they are all entitled to take this policy. Now the question is, what is the subject matter of this fire insurance policy? Normally, building, plant and machineries, equipment and accessories, furniture and electrical fittings, raw materials, semi-finished and finished goods, and warehouses may be closed or open, and certain items like pipelines, utility items, they are all subject matter of fire insurance. So for all these purposes, fire insurance policy can be taken. Now fire insurance, when we talk of the basic meaning, what we draw out of the fire insurance is that this is covering the fire insurance, we have fire risk. This is a common phenomenon. And fire risk is one risk which can cause loss or damage to any building, machinery, merchandise, furniture, or even persons. So anything or everything is susceptible to fire. property owner, any individual or businessman can take this policy because whenever there is an accidental fire and that is causing the loss or damage to the property or to the machinery or to the merchandise or to the furniture, those all loss or damages are payable under the fire insurance policy. So when the IRDA came out with the revised provision or revised policies, which were introduced after a lot of survey and modifications, because that was the requirement of the time when the experts suggested to introduce those policies. So IRDA made lot of changes in these new introduced policies where the sum insured pattern was decided, inbuilt coverages were added, inventory coverages were added, and the definitions or perils were changed. So now when the policies have been introduced since last 3 years, there is a lot of change in the market practices because these policies are not that complex in nature. Any customer or every customer can understand the language because the wordings used are very simple. That policy, that is the standard fire and special peril policy, was not having the complete coverage. Still it doesn't have. Because the coverages are provided through the add-on covers, and for add-on covers additional payment charge, so this is not the inbuilt coverage of the policy. So now these policies are providing complete coverage. Moreover, these are able to control mis-selling of the product. Because after introduction of these two policies, the relating of some perils have been banned. And these two policies are also having the clarity of coverage, plus the standard method of working out the sum insured of the policy has been introduced. So that is the scenario, or you can say the changed scenario, where a lot of things have been changed under the fire insurance category. And these changes are also guided by the sum insured limit, because these two policies are for and up to the limit of 50 crores only. Thereafter, either the standard fire and special peril policy will be issued, or the compact policy that is known as industrial orders policy will be issued. So this Bharat Sukshma Udyam Suraksha and Bharat Laghu Udyam Suraksha are restricted to the sum insured of 50 crore rupees only. So after 1st April 2021, either there is a new risk or renewal risk or any market rollover case, up to the sum insured of 50 crore only these two policies are issued. A common concept prevailing in the market is that the general insurance companies are issuing the package policies, which are providing the multiple sections to the buyers, and these multiple sections are covering the different kind of risk under the one umbrella. One umbrella means after clubbing some 10, 12, 14, 15 policies, a one umbrella policy is introduced that is known as the package policy, and there is a choice given to the customer to select the sections in addition to the mandatory section and the minimum required sections. So almost all the general insurance companies are introducing these package policies because these are the requirement of the time. Right from a shopkeeper to the small and medium entrepreneur, or to the corporate, or to the special institutions, or to the offices, everybody prefers to take a package policy. This package policy is giving the feasibility to the buyer to select the sections as per his choice, as per his requirement, and as per his affordability. So always every general insurance company has the package policies. We do have, for example, business protector policy, city shopkeeper, city office care insurance, city hotel and restaurant, city education shield insurance. They are all package policies. And the primary condition in these all policies is that section 1 is fire. Section first is fire insurance, and that is mandatory. The second requirement is take either 2 or 3 sections, and normally 2 sections are required, except business protector policy. So even if a customer is selecting only 2 sections, the policy can be given to him or her. The only condition is section 1 is mandatory, that has to be taken. Rest, all the sections are voluntary, optional. Policy may have 14 sections or 15 sections. Even if 2 policies, 2 sections are selected, customer is entitled to get the policy. But out of the remaining sections, if you want to select, this is his free will. This is his choice. This is the need or his requirement according to the risks available in his office or property or organization. So when the section 1 is mandatory, that stands for the fire insurance. The policy will automatically converted into the desired fund according to the sum insured limit selected by the customer. Because the softwares are made by the insurance companies in such a fashion that there is no need to make efforts for selecting policy. The moment the sum insured limits are crossed, the policy will automatically change. Say for example, the Sukshmuddam Surakshha policy is meant for the sum insured 4 and up to 5 crores only. The moment 5 crores sum insured is exceeded, Bharat Laghu Udyam Suraksha policy will take place. And under this policy is also the maximum sum insured limit is 50 crores. That 50 crores sum insured is also based on the value of the risk at one location. So this is important to understand which policy will come into force according to the limit of the sum insured. Now, as per the requirement, either it's a non-industrial risk or it's a manufacturing risk or it's a storage risk or it's a utility risk. Policy required is fire. Which fire policy will come into picture? That will depend upon the selection of sum insured under the fire section. So risk which are rendering services known as the non-industrial risk like hotel, office, shop, hospitals. Risk which are manufacturing units giving turnover, output, known as the manufacturing risk. Where the storage, maybe in quantity, maybe bulk quantity, is there. It may be opened, it may be closed. The storage risk, even exclusively or as a part of the risk, is insurable under the fire insurance also. Other utility and tax also subject matter of the fire insurance. So in these two policies, the number of perils have been increased from 12 to 14 because earthquake and terrorism and theft are made part of the inbuilt coverage. Deletion of peril is not allowed. Sum insured is divided according to the Sukshmuddam Suraksha policy up to 5 crore, Laghu Udyam from 5 and above to 50 crore. Compulsory excess is decided, that is 5,000 in SPSU and 5% of each claim subject to minimum of 10,000 in SPL. In case of terrorism, the compulsory excess will be different because if the loss is caused by the terrorism risk, that risk is handled by the terrorism pool. So minimum premium limit differs according to the product. If it is Sukshmuddam Suraksha, minimum premium is 500 plus GST, and Laghu Udyam, it is 1000 plus GST. But in any case, whenever the policy is issued, the premium would be higher because it depends upon the sum insured. When the sum insured is in crores, the premium cannot be in 500 or 1000. So fire is the common term. Common term in the sense, fire can ignite anywhere, everywhere, at any point of time, due to any reason. Because this is a self-sustaining process of rapid oxidation of a fuel, which produces heat and light. So this is an exothermal chemical reaction between oxygen and fuel at certain temperatures. Means, in simple terms, three things are required for the fire. Fuel, anything. Any item is fuel. Oxygen, in the air, in the open environment. It's already available. No efforts is required to be made. And the temperature, that is again not in the hands of any person. Even the high temperature can create fire. So when the fuel, oxygen and high temperature meets, there is a fire. And this fuel could be in any shape, for example, solids like wood, fabric, synthetic material, packaging material, papers, etc. Liquids, vapors, gases, and in other sources there are flames, sparks, spontaneous ignitions, and self-combustible chemicals. They all are sources of fire hazards. Now, as far as the perils are concerned, the number is increased to 14, but out of these 14, there are certain perils which have been revived and their scope has been expanded. Because the definition is enhanced in favor of the insurer will ensure to protect his interest. Means the coverage has been expanded or enhanced in favor of the insured who is the policyholder. All steps taken by the IRDA are in the benefit of the policyholder to make the products popularized so that the penetration of the insurance increases. So the definition of fire insurance has been increased by including the own fermentation, natural heating or spontaneous combustions. These were not there in the standard fire and special peril policy. They are still not there in the standard fire and special peril policy. There again, the fire definition includes wherever there is a flame ignited, that is fire. But here in these two policies, even if the flame is not ignited and this is a case of natural heating or the spontaneous combustion, still the risk is covered under the fire peril and the claim peril. Among the new three perils, earthquake, terrorism and theft is there. But the scope of one more peril has been expanded. That is bushfire, because this bushfire includes now the forest fire and theft and jungle fire also. This inclusion of forest fire and jungle fire is not in ordinary sense. This is important because with the passage of time, you must have seen the industries, the houses, even the commercial institutions doesn't find the place within the city limits. Cities are densely populated and overcrowded. So the entrepreneurs are going in the outskirts of the cities where they have to start their colleges, their offices, their industries. So when you are going in the outskirts of the cities, you will find there is a forest or a jungle. So only that land is sold to these entrepreneurs. Now how much of land they are utilizing and what remaining land is still full of forest or jungle like So there could be any danger of the fire. And if there is a forest kind of thing is there, the fire will spread like anything. So this risk of bushfire have been expanded now by inclusion of the forest fire and jungle fire. Impact damage risk is also expanded by inclusion of the aircraft damage. So the definition has been changed here. But inclusion of 3 new perils like earthquake, terrorism and theft has enhanced the number of perils in these two policies from 12 to 40. This theft itself is a new peril added in the policy because theft has never been the part of the fire engine policy. But now theft is covered with a restricted scope that merely theft will not be covered. Exclusive theft will not be covered. But it is followed by any other reason, then it is covered. It is followed by any other peril that is insured under the policy, for example, riot and attack, for example, terrorism, for example, fire, flood, earthquake. So if it is followed by any other item and then there is a theft, that will be covered from first day to 7th day. So theft is a part of the basic coverage of the policy, that is inbuilt coverage of the policy. Say for example, after the riots, if somebody entered into the shop and broken the window and taken some goods of 35,000, this will be covered under theft. Here because riots were there, riot was entered. So but this is followed by the riots. One new provision made under these policies is that no company has got a right to delete any peril because if the policy is issued with 14 perils on day 1, that is called date of issuance, that is called inception of the policy, that is called commencement of the policy. From that date, if the 14 perils are covered under the policy, that all 14 will continue till the expiry of the policy. And the policy will be further renewed with all 14 perils of the policy because in renewal also, the deletion of peril is not allowed in these two policies. And deletion of peril is normally allowed in the standard fire and special peril policy because there 2 set of perils are optional to include. These set of perils are STFI and RSMD. STFI stands for the storm tempest, flood and inundation. RSMD stands for the rugged stack and malicious damage. So these 2 set of perils are not excluded now from these 2 policies. If at all any company is doing so, that company is liable to the IRDA's strict penalty action. Even if you find any case in any company where the RSMD, STFI set of peril have been excluded from these 2 policies, named as Bharat Sukshma Udyam and Laghu Udyam, we can even intimate that company is liable to be penalized. But of course, if any other company has got any fire insurance approved with certain set of policies or in a modified manner, that name is not Sukshma Udyam and not Laghu Udyam, there this kind of changes can be made. But in these 2 policies, this exclusion of the RSMD and STFI set of peril is not allowed. All 14 perils will continue till the expiry date of the policy. Then comes the inbuilt coverage of the policy. Inbuilt coverage means there is no additional premium for that. If the IRDA has introduced some other additional coverages in these 2 policies, no extra premium is required to be paid for that, except where the sum insured is going to increase. If the sum insured is increasing, in that case the premium has to be charged extra. But if at all there is a part of the claim, that will be no difference on the premium. Like the architect surveyor fee and consulting engineer fee is payable now up to 5% of the claim amount. Here only the revised limit is there, means the limit has been revised. Removal of debris are payable now 2% of the claim amount. Here again, the limit has been increased from 1% to 2% and the limit revision is there. But other than these two, there were certain add-on covers available with the standard fire and special peril policy. Some part of those add-on covers have been included in these two policies without any extra premium. For example, addition, alteration and extensions, temporary removal of stocks, cover for specific contents, start-up expenses, cost compared by municipal regulations, stock on floater basis, preloaded software and stock handling trust. They are all almost add-on covers in the standard fire and special peril policy. Still, the additional premium is charged for them. But here in these two policies, no additional premium will be charged because they are the inbuilt coverage included in the basic coverage without any extra premium. So the expanded form of the coverage is there in these two policies. Stock on floater basis is also covered without an extra premium, provided the sum insured limit is up to 5 crores. The moment this limit is exceeded, 10% loading will be paid. Floater means stocks at multiple locations under one sum insured. What does it mean? Stocks at multiple locations under one sum insured, what is that? That means if any entrepreneur is having his godowns at different places, at multiple locations, maybe in multiple states, or maybe in the same state, those all godowns can be covered with the policy if the sum insured is less than 5 crore, including of the godowns. Then to cover all the godowns under one sum insured will be allowed without any extra premium. Because in that case the policy applicable will be the Sukshmandam Sakta policy. So for Sukshmandam Sakta policy there is no floater charges. Sukshmandam means up to the sum insured of 5 crore. Sukshmandam means this is a micro insurance policy. Sukshmandam means there is no extra premium for the floater coverage. But for Laghu Uddam, yes, 10% loading is there. Among other policies, there is a declaration policy for stocks where the fluctuations are there in the stock value. Frequent fluctuations. Maybe the seasonal products are there. Or even the regular products are there, but the frequent fluctuations are taking place. So in that case, company is not aware that how much liability they are liable for. But if they are getting a monthly declaration from the insured for the stock value, they know that for what amount they are on the risk. If at all anything happens by the perils insured under the policy, their liability is restricted to the value declared in the declaration. Because the value shown in the policy would be different. Value declared in the declaration would be different. So here declaration policy can be issued if frequent fluctuations are there in the stock. Now the standard method of deciding the sum insured has also been introduced, especially in the case of property. It is so simple to calculate because in property cases like building, like plant and machinery and furniture, fixtures and fittings, only the reinstatement value is taken. And that reinstatement value is the value which will decide that at what cost this property or this commercial institution can be replaced or reinstated on the date of loss. So reinstatement value will be considered while taking the policy, and on that value the building, the plant and machinery and the furniture, fixture and fittings will be insured, but not for stocks. Reinstatement value will not apply for the stocks. Stock can be raw material, for stock in process, for finished stock. So the value taken for these raw material, stock in process and finished stock for the purpose of the sum insured depends upon the valuation, and that valuation would be landed cost at insured premises for raw material, input cost of the stock at the time of coverage would be for stock in process, and the manufacturing cost of the finished stock of the contract or the contract price of the goods sold, but not delivered. These are two different situations: finished stocks as well as the contract price of the goods sold but not delivered. There could be items which are sold but not delivered, and before delivery they got damaged, maybe due to fire or due to earthquake or due to flood or due to heavy rain, and they are now not usable, not in good condition, so they cannot be delivered now. So obviously the seller, the insured firm, will take the claim from the insurance company, and the insurance company will pay the contract price in such a situation, and that contract price is stand for the value at which the goods are being sold. There could be certain items in the insured premises like precious stones, like unset or curios or work of art. I give you an interesting example of work of art. Say suppose in my office there is a painting, and the painting is say for 6 by 4 size, 6 feet by 4 feet. It's a good attractive painting. But if I work out the cost of this painting, I'll already find that clothes, paints, wooden sticks, or the canvas is used for that purpose. So if I work out the cost, maybe in few thousands only, 1,000, 2,000, at most 5,000, that is all. But if I find at the corner the signatures of Makbul, Fida, Hussain, all of a sudden this painting can become costly for lakhs of millions of rupees. So there, in such items, you are not able to work out what is the cost, because this is a work of art. So in such a case, either the invoice value or the value agreed by the insured and insurer is the sum insured of the policy. Now, reinstatement value, which is applicable for the property, for the buildings, for the furniture fixtures, for the machineries. You must know how to calculate the reinstatement value, because the reinstatement value is the value at which the property can be reinstated or replaced at the time of loss. Here there is no deduction of depreciation. So all properties are subject to reinstatement value for insurance purposes, because the sum insured will be decided, and this is a hard and fast rule now that the sum insured should be taken for reinstatement value in case of property, machinery, plants and furniture fixtures. Earlier there was a confusion because no standard method was there. But now the method has been standardized in both these two policies. So reinstatement value may differ 5% or 10%, lower or plus minus you can say. But otherwise, this would be the value at which the property can be replaced or reinstated at the time of loss. Contract price would be the price at which the item has been sold, but it may or may not be delivered. Since it is not delivered, so there is a loss, and the loss can be claimed from the insurance company. The company will pay the contract price, the price at which the company has sold the product. Now, cover for specific contents is also part of the policy. A specific contents these are also known as the innovative coverage. In both these policies, Sukshma Udyam and Laghu Udyam, the coverage for 4 specific contents is also provided without any extra premium. And these 4 specific contents are money up to Indian national rupees 50,000, documents such as deed, manuscripts, drawings up to rupees 50,000, computer program information and data up to rupees 5 lakh, personal effects of visitors, employees and directors, maximum 20 people, and 15,000 rupees per person. So this becomes up to 3 lakh. Up to 3 lakh. Interesting part of the story is that all these 4 specific content coverages are not the part of external fire and special variables. Here they are included as innovative coverage in the policy and no premium is charged for them. But of course, the maximum limit given under each section will apply. If there is a loss to the money, up to 50,000, insurance company will pay under the fire insurance policy. If there is the documents like manuscript, like drawings or deeds are there, and if these documents are destroyed, burned, flood affected, in that case, up to the coverage of 50,000, insurance company is liable. If the computer data is spoiled, scrapped, in that case also company is liable for 5 lakh rupees. Because here coverage for computer data or information is 5 lakh rupees, that is the highest under the innovative coverage category. Fourth one is personal effects of the visitors, employees and directors, because whenever there is a meeting of the board and there are workshops for visitors, or when there are conferences for the employees, in such a case there could be loss due to any insured peril. And that loss can cause loss or damage to the personal baggage of employees or directors or visitors also. So in addition to the actual loss covered under the policy, these losses are also payable, and as per the category, each section has the financial limit. One more benefit given is under insurance. The waiver of under insurance is very good feature of this policy. Waiver of under insurance. How it is good? Because the IRD has given the concept that the sum insured will be decided in case of property, furniture, picture and machineries on the basis of the reinstatement value, but in any case, if the reinstatement value is not exactly decided, it may be less, plus minus by 5 or 10%, that we should consider. In that case, we should not apply the under insurance. So they are given the waiver up to the 15%. Prices may fluctuate, prices may go down or go up. So 5%, 10% or maximum 15% will be considered as the full insurance, and there will be no deduction on the part of the claim, and insured is not going to lose any amount out of the claim amount on account of under insurance. So here this is important to understand that this 15% is the limit. Otherwise the situation will get changed. And this 15% limit is playing the most important game. Say how? There is one example of the sum insured taken by the insurance company, given by the insurance company to the insured, where the insured has opted a sum insured of 5 crore for his office. And in that office, one fine morning, there was a fire, and that fire was caused to the loss of 1 crore rupees. Policy is 5 crore. 5 crore means Uddam Suraksha. And during the policy period, there was a loss of 1 crore due to fire. The rest is covered. But when the surveyor visited at the site, he inspected the loss and he found that the sum insured is 5 crore only, while the value of the property is 5.5 crore. In that case, he asked the owner that the under insurance clause will apply here, and that because of that under insurance clause, you will lose your amount of claim in proportion to your under insurance. Say your under insurance is 10% of the value. So that 10% is going to be deducted from the claim amount. But since waiver of under insurance is given, so that 10% will be waived. 12% will be waived. Up to 15% that will be waived. Because the waiver of under insurance is waived up to 15%, so that will not apply here. Insured will lose nothing. He will get full claim. But if at all, the under insurance is more than 15%, in that case the situation will become difficult. Because nobody will come for the rest of the insured where he has to suffer the loss on account of under insurance. Maybe the policy is issued by you, policy is sold by you, you are the person responsible who has decided is sum insured, and you have taken the under insurance. Because the moment it is found that the under insurance is more than 15%, maybe 17, 18, 20, 25, 30, whatever it is. In that case, insured is going to lose, because that percentage of amount in proportion will be deducted from his claim amount. Say for example, this is an example given here. Sukshma Uddam Suraksha policy was given for 4 crore rupees, covering the structure of the college of 3 crore and stock 1 crore. So the 4 crore was the sum insured, and there was a loss of 50 lakh rupees due to flood, or due to fire, or due to earthquake, or due to any insured peril. So sum insured is 4 crore. When insured visited the site, he found that the value of the property is 3.5 crore, value of stock is 1.5 crore, total sum insured would have been 5 crore, but the policy is taken for 4 crore only. So there is under insurance. If at all the loss settled is 50 lakh rupees, payable loss is 50 lakh rupees, that 50 lakh would not be paid in total, because the under insurance is 20%, and that 20% will be deducted from the claim amount of 50 lakh rupees. So the 40 lakh rupees will be paid only, and 10 lakh rupees insured is going to suffer. This loss is because of the under insurance. So in fire policy, under insurance should not be there. If the over insurance is there, there is no loss. But under insurance is there, there is a loss to the insured. So no under insurance should be suggested at any time. Now this policy is providing the additional coverages for the stock held in trust, where the typical situations could be there. Say for example, there is a dry cleaner shop. Now the dry cleaner shop That's a fire. You have given him a policy of say 50 lakh rupees. Now the question is, if there is fire, the entire stock available in the shop of dry cleaner is burned to essence. Question is, this entire stock which has burned, there was nothing belonging to the dry cleaner, because this entire stock was of the customers. Customer could be you, me, or anybody else. So should insurance company pay this claim? Because the insured is not having the insurable interest in that item, because you are not the owner of those clothes. Those were belonging to somebody else. But now in these two policies, this provision has been made that whatever stock is there in the insured premises, may it be a goods or semi-finished goods, stock and process, stock and volume and ready for dispatch, raw material, packing material, whatever is there, which is not belonging to the insured himself, but if it is damaged along with his own goods, it is the claim is paid. This is known as the stock handling interest. Similarly, additions, alterations or extensions made during the policy period, if they are attributed to the insurance company within 7 days, then they are covered. If the difference amount was required to be paid, that is paid, then this is covered. Otherwise, it is not covered, because that will make the sum insured value underinsured. I have taken the policy of 2 crore for my office, but during the policy period, if I have made the construction over that floor, maybe the next 4th floor or 5th floor, I have spent some 1 crore rupees, but I have not intimated the insurance company. The sum insured has become 3 crore. Policy is for 2 crore only. Obviously, this is under insurance. So here, who is going to lose at the time of claim? Me only. That kind of situation should not arise. So the major changes in these two policies are, sum insured is different for both the policies, up to 5 crore switch with them, 5 to 50 crore lug with them. Compulsory access is different for both the policies, for switch with them 5,000 on each claim, 5% of the claim amount and minimum 10,000 each claim is in lug with them. The startup expenses 1 lakh on switch with them, 5 lakh rupees in lug with them. Float recover is free in switch with them, but in lug with them 10% loading is there. Minimum premium is 500 plus GST in switch with them, 1000 plus GST in lug with them. That is the situation. Now, if at any stage insured come to know that is sum insured is not proper, it is underinsured, insured can request the insurance company and pay the difference amount of premium and get the sum insured increased. That increase is permitted provided there is no claim on the policy. Before claim, at any time the endorsement can be issued to increase the sum insured, but once the claim is registered, thereafter the sum insured cannot be increased. Compulsory access cannot be changed, that will remain as it is. Maximum liability of the insurance company is sum insured only. Add-on covers, earlier add-on covers which are available with the external repair and special repair policy are merged, but all companies have got their new add-on covers approved by the IRDA, and these add-on covers are for sale. Those add-on covers are merged with certain limitations and modifications. New add-on covers are available. In first instance, we got 4 add-on covers approved through IRDA. And add-on cover should be sold. I suggest you that the add-on cover means any risk which is not part of the basic risk, and this is an additional risk, so there is an additional premium for each add-on cover. Add-on cover is always voluntary, optional, but at least you should tell customer that we are having that much of add-on covers. They are purpose specific. If you are not disclosing, no insured can come to know what add-on covers are you having with your policy. Because any company can have any number of add-on covers with any product. And add-on covers differs company to company. While these Sukshmuddham and Laghuddham policies do not differ, they are similar in all the general insurance companies of India. Only the add-on covers are different and the prices is different. So these are the factors which vary in the market cases. So in first installment we got 4 add-on covers approved, that is installment protection up to 50,000, claim protection cost, loss of rent, additional expenses of rent, and thereafter again 4 more add-on covers we got approved, that is accidental damage cover, involuntary betterment, expenses for loss minimization, and escalation clause. Now, wherever the stock is there, whatever is the location, maybe in the same city, state or within country, that can be covered under one sum insured along with the policy, provided the address and location is declared in the proposal form and the value at the stock or godown can be declared. Now, who can take this policy? This is an important question because everybody knows if the person who is having the insurable interest can only buy this policy, but at times the insured may have sold it, in that case the buyer will take the policy, insured may have given it on lease, in that case the lessor will take the policy, insured may have given or may have rented out this property, in that case tenant will take the policy. So the insurable interest keep on changing under different circumstances. Depends upon the nature of contract. There is the provision of restoration of sum insured under the buyer policy. If there is any loss, insurance company has settled the claim, thereby that claim amount which is paid to the insured, the sum insured of the policy will reduce for the unexpired period of the policy. So unfortunately, if there is a second claim in that unexpired period of policy, in that case the insured may suffer under insurance. So to protect him, to save him, insurance companies are charging different amount of premium to reinstate the sum insured to the original amount. So sum insured can be restored on charging on additional fee. Now, there are not only purchase policies with us, all these policies are already having the mandatory section as fire, that is first section. So policy will be automatically converted into the respective policy according to the sum insured selected by the insured. The only thing what you have to follow in your practice is that whenever you are giving a Sukshmuddham or Laghuddham policy, you don't need to issue it at the branch level, because the proposal will go to the support office and writing department where the quote will be generated, and after that quote, if the insured is agreed, the policy will be issued from the support office only. So this is the fire insurance. Now if you have any questions, you can ask. One interesting subject, I like this topic, but if you have any interesting question, you can ask. Choice is yours. If you have any questions, you can ask right now. Otherwise, I am sending you the questions in the form of test paper. There you have to answer the questions. All 10 questions will be there. Give me a minute. I am sending the test paper on your mail ID.